Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. It's your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I'm super excited to come to you today from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, with another fresh new episode for you. We're sitting in the Milwaukee Tool Studios. This is a very cool setup. Thank you to Milwaukee Tool for having this space for us, a dedicated space. I don't know that I've ever been in a room with no corners before.
Yeah, bizarre.
It's literally a room with no corners. So the walls are all rounded off. And we have my good buddy Bradley here from Milwaukee. You guys probably remember Bradley from Equip Expo 2024.
Yeah,
How you
thanks
doing?
for having me. It's been quite a journey. I mean, we're known for moving pretty quickly, and I just feel in the last, it's been 8-9 months since we talked. So much has changed, and thanks for having me on. Happy to be here.
Yeah, 100%, man. I'm excited to have you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you to the team for letting us come out and kind of check out what Pipeline is all about, see the new products and things. We were talking. This is not going to be a very product-heavy show, folks. I'm not going to sit here and sell you on Milwaukee Tools. That's not what our show is about. It's more about like how we're going to grow our businesses, how we're going to tackle this battle of entrepreneurship, right, and how we're going to find partners to help us do that. And so I have found that a little bit in Milwaukee, and I've really some of the messaging this go-around here at Pipeline has really resonated with me as far as apprenticeships and certifications and all of the things that the company is investing time and money into. Really opens my eyes a lot, and they don't waste money on pointless marketing dollars. I have noticed that, which is really good. So they're not hanging banners in stadiums and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. And for me too, even on a personal note, this is my third year doing this, and for me it changes a little bit every year. And so, the first year you're nervous, maybe the second year you kind of have a little more swagger, a little more confident, and now it's almost nostalgic where, to see all these things we've been working on for so long, be able to share them with the world finally, it's just so much fun. And, I think on the point you're making too on partnerships, my job's gotten a lot easier as I've started to be able to build those contacts. And, something we do in product marketing that we've talked about a lot is that end user research, right? And now to be able to partner with people for several years on a personal level, see their businesses grow and change and us help them, it becomes more and more special every year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're coming up on a year of us meeting at Equip. We'll probably do another show at Equip of some sorts. So excited for that. And tell me a little bit about your story there. Like, tell me about Bradley. I mean, how did you get into Milwaukee Tool?
Yeah, so a bit of a unique path for me in particular. So I went to school, I studied finance, and I was kind of like, I got to go work on Wall Street.
Really?
Yeah.
From finance to a tool company.
Yeah. I had a couple, internships in that kind of world, and to be honest, I really didn't like it. And, COVID came around, I took a break, worked for a different business that was in more of a product-related role, really loved it. And someone there had come from Milwaukee, said, hey, if you like this, you're going to love Milwaukee. And so then I was actually an intern on the outdoor power equipment team at Milwaukee. And, I had a great time. Apparently they liked me, so, they asked me to come back. And from there, I've just never looked back. And, I think on the most basic level, compared to what I was doing before, that just felt so transactional. And like we're talking about a little bit, when we make all these hard decisions and work our butts off late nights, and then you finally see that tool in action and someone's life is getting easier, safer, they're doing something quicker, it's so much more meaningful.
Especially when you're directly related to a product like that, because so on a small level, we are at home in our landscape company right now, we're building, essentially, we're doing all the full landscape installations on a new subdivision. And so I'm excited because in 5 or 10 years or 15 years, 20 years, when my kids grow up, I'm going to be able to drive through there and be like, hey, we built this neighborhood, essentially, right? Like, I remember we put all these plants in, right? And so when you're sitting here talking and working on product behind the scenes of development and testing and users and how we're going to make this a better product for our end user, when that is to market and people are actually using it and like raving about it, that's got to be a good feeling.
Oh, for sure. And we've got, I don't know how many in the power tools business, at least 100, maybe 150 people in product marketing. And, I think we were talking a little bit earlier, like about these pack out cups,
yeah.
how cool they were and kind of all the thought that went in there. But what's even cooler is like, you'll go find someone in something oddly specific, like lasers. I don't know a lot about lasers, but, they will tell you about every little detail, choice that was made and how it benefits someone.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Lasers. I got to go see lasers today. Don't ever forget that. I didn't see them out there. But so, again, we're not going to stand and really hard pitch or sell products, right? But I do want to dive into something that is kind of catching my attention, and I think that will catch a lot of our users and viewers, listeners, whatever you're doing, however you're consuming this content, attention is in the green industry space, battery equipment is bursting onto the scene, right? And it's been bursting on the scene the last 2 to 3 years. I would say 2021, there was not really hardly any battery stuff at Equip, a few booths here and there, right? Yeah. Milwaukee went in 2020, I think, or 2019. Like they're
2020. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, it was either right before COVID or right after COVID that they ended up going and putting a booth up, and it's like, man, it's weird thinking like of Milwaukee not having a space there at Equip, but that's the case. And so batteries burst on the scene, and it's like people ask the questions of how are we going to do this, right? And in 2021, it was the laughing stock, right? Battery was literally a laughing stock. Like, you are not running a landscape company with battery equipment. It's not happening. Not a full, like, legit commercial outfit contractor running it. And so as the years have progressed, we put our hands in different things. I've had different brands of equipment, and one of the ones that I come back to a lot is the Milwaukee. Milwaukee trimmers that we have. I actually had a crazy incident, if you've listened for any amount of time, crazy incident with my hand in a Milwaukee hedge trimmer. Did not end up all right. Well, it ended up okay now, but it did not in the moment. Fingers hanging off with the trimmer, and so it was a rough accident. So I'm kind of like, blood, sweat, and tears from Milwaukee here, but in a not joking way, like legit. Yeah. And so breaking into today, right? Battery powered equipment. How are we going to take this and grow it in our company? The progress that's been made in the last 3 years has been crazy. Yeah. And we talk charge times, we talk run times, we talk all these things. Too hot, too cold. That was a problem back in the day as well. And so what I want to talk about today is I want you to really walk me through charging and the power stations for these battery powered equipment pieces. Sure. Because Roll-On just came out, right? The bigger one. Yeah. The 2.5 kilowatt came out last year. Uh-huh. And so talk me through that, and I'm talking like really basic level people that don't know anything about battery. How can I get my landscape company to where I can actually run it on a battery platform, even if I'm just a solo guy? And I think this is where the solo to 2 to 3 man crews are going to be a much easier switch to do this. So how do they do this from the very, very beginning?
Yeah, so I think you hit the nail on the head, first of all, where we're finally in a place where the technology, the motors, the batteries, the electronics, we can deliver gas-level power now that we couldn't 5, 7 years ago, right? Yeah. So at first, for the last couple of years, it's really been getting people on board with, can this tool actually do well in application, right? And now we've got chainsaws, blowers, we got that full lineup of tools that in many cases are more powerful than gas. But then people's next question really quickly becomes, all right, I can complete one job. What does it look to get through that full day of work? And so, true Milwaukee fashion, like we've talked about, we don't answer the question. We go out, we do research. You guys, users, they answer the questions for us. And, after several years of doing that, thousands of crews we've interviewed, talked to, all that came back out of that was there's just not going to be one solution. And so I think at a high level, we can really break it down into what I would call charging scenarios. So, we see a lot of people who want to just charge overnight in their shop. We see other people, like with the roll-on, who have energy needs that really require you to charge during the day. And so which
is where really I'm at, right? And most
Yeah.
people running a lawn maintenance of any sort, contracting company, that's where you fall. You have to have power throughout the day.
Yeah, for sure. And, the way we've really thought about this, I think, is somewhat unique in the industry, is that, hey, we understand this is going to be a journey, right? Like, we don't expect most people, owner-operators, to say, I'm going to throw out all my tools right now and go full battery. I get that, over time, as the gas stuff breaks, we're going to slowly move into this. And so we've really designed systems that are made to scale with you over time. And what you're talking about a little bit is what we just launched today. I've been super excited to talk about this, is the 6 kilowatt hour roll-on power supply. So, like you said, about 2 years ago, we introduced the 2.5 kilowatt hour roll-on, which is really great for more of those lighter duty crews, some more intermittent applications, maybe on job sites with corded tools. But the feedback was clear. We need more power. We need more runtime. And so that's what we went and did. And so with the 6 kilowatt hour roll-on, it really unlocks that ability to recharge during the day. So, at a high level, think about this. You got your M18 batteries. You're at your first property. You mow, blow, trim. You're going to discharge that. Sticking that back on a supercharger, plugged into the roll-on, as you're driving to your next property, you recharge that. And so that does a bunch of things. First of all is what I would say is battery pack reduction, right? So we're simplifying what it takes to get through your day. Instead of saying, I got to buy 20 batteries and now, you're at lunchtime, what's full, what's empty, I got to bring a bucket of batteries on and off my trailer every day. You've got this base station that's there charging your batteries. So that's, a big one.
That is portable, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
And that's where I think you could claim a stake there and plant the flag and say this thing is actually movable. It's called a roll-on for a reason, right? You roll it on and off.
Yeah.
And so it is movable. There's other ones out there like it's too heavy to move. You can't do anything with it.
Yeah. So flexibility is the name of the game. First thing is, you go in at 100 landscaping trailers, none of them look the same.
Yeah.
Everyone likes to customize their setup for their workflow. And so the ability to move it around, place it where it really works for you is pretty important. But then, kind of our approach to providing AC power as well, there could be a whole host of other things you want to plug into there.
Microwaves, man.
Yeah.
That you solving
washer.
that problem for people, like solving the microwave problem, like lunches. And, you laugh, and it's a funny thing to say, but like guys in the industry of contracting and you're out in the field, like you also are, this is such a, you can go so deep on this. You're investing into your people because like you're helping your people save money. Like you are helping your people build a budget. Guys, blue collar workers struggle with money. They struggle with finances, right? It's not the highest paid industry out there. And by you having somewhere where if you have a microwave where you can plug into every day, somebody can bring hot lunches. They're not stuck bringing sandwiches every day, right? They can bring hot lunches if they want to. They can keep them cold in the cooler or whatever. Like you could literally buy a microwave, plug it in, and buy a pack out cooler or whatever cooler you want, right? And stick it in there for a couple $100. And that would be an investment into your team because in turn, like I know how much money you spend eating out every day if you don't bring food, right? I hate bringing cold sandwiches every day. That gets old, right? And if you go eat out every day, you're spending $15 minimum, like anywhere you go, right? So you're talking $60 a week. Like that's almost $300 a month you're spending on eating out. Like you're going to poop it out, literally. And so you are investing in your team without even realizing it, with something as small as a microwave, right? And so having that AC power source is a huge benefit to that.
Yeah. And I think, as we kind of talk about making meals, stuff like that, it also really kind of applies to just that general transition from gas to battery, where you're an operator using a gas leaf blower, have a gas engine 10 inches away from your head for 8 hours a day, for year after year. That's not good for you.
No.
It's not healthy. And so, I think across the board, what we do enables you to, invest in that safety and longevity for people, which, kind of going back to my story, it's so meaningful. It's exciting to wake up every morning and do that.
Yeah, it's impact, right? Like that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're building tools, but you're making impact. And so you just have to ask yourself, what is that impact? How do I do that? And then, because every day you get up and you go to work for Milwaukee Tool, right? But there's a caveat to that. You get up and go to work for Bradley.
Yeah.
Right? Like you go work inside of Milwaukee Tool, but you get up and go work for Bradley, right? Our friend behind the camera here doing the audio, he gets up and works for himself every day, right? And so at the heart, everyone on the planet is an entrepreneur, right? You get up to go feed your family every single day, right? And provide the lifestyle that you want to live every single day. You may do it inside of a company, but you're doing that to build your own. And so you have to have you have to have your own statement, vision, mission in life to say, what impact am I going to have? How am I going to impact the people around me? How am I going to build my life to where I'm a better leader, a better human, right? For myself, it's like I want to share the gospel with as many people that I can, right, in the platform that I have. And so I want to make sure that I can do that in any way, shape, or form. Now, how are we going to tie this back into roll-on, right? And a battery-powered generator, essentially, is what this is. But what this is doing and what this event does, right, is it gets me around these people, gets me in these circles to where we can see how we can build our team better. Because, again, we talk about pouring back into our people. A transition to battery is a transition that is not easy at first. Like, it's expensive. It's a big investment, right?
Depends.
It's an upfront investment.
Yeah.
You will recoup that over time, 100%.
Yeah.
But it's an investment, like, regardless, it just is. And you have, but in doing that, I'm doing this for my team. Because, like you're saying, I don't want to sit there and run gas-powered stuff for the rest of my life, right? I don't want to smell it. I don't want to listen to it. Like, it's so clean. Like, I was inside the trailer out there, and I was like, this is so clean, and it would literally not be this. It would not be that much dirtier in a field. It would be some grass in there, right? The oil and the dust and the gas, that's what makes, like, job sites and trucks and things dirty, is the things that you just eliminate like that with battery.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't realize how bad small, like, two-stroke engines are for the environment. And so, like, just to give you a little context, running a gas backpack blower for about an hour emits roughly the same noxious oxides as operating a vehicle for several hundred miles, right? Which is crazy. People think, like, how is that possible? Well, the answer is, right, like, the auto industry has been regulated to the point where, you have all these protections in cars, catalytic converters, right? Like, all these things that are trying to get bad noxious oxides from going in the environment, and there's just no space on a two-stroke engine. You got to hold in your hand to do that. And I know we're kind of bouncing around in a lot of places here, but I think to kind of your first point in, like, the meaningful work and working for yourself, even at a big company, like I said, I've only been working for a couple years, but there have been jobs I've really disliked, and, I've really enjoyed this job. And what I've found personally is that work-life balance really becomes a pie that gets much larger. And when I like what I'm doing, I don't mind working until 8 p.m. here because it's great energy, it's a great time. And when I go home, I still have that energy. And there were other jobs I had where, I didn't like it. I go home at 5 o'clock and I'm miserable.
Yeah. So what that is, right, and a mentor of mine, Mark Bradley, built a software company in the green space, building multiple companies now. He built a $50 million landscape company before he did the software. He knows a thing or two about business, and he'll sit there and tell you, like, that right there, what you're talking about, that's like an integrated life. That's a life where your work integrates with your personal life. It's not work-life balance, right? Yeah. There is no balance there. It's just like, hey, what you're doing in your job fulfills your life mission, and so the two work in tandem together.
Yeah.
Right. So you feel fulfilled in your career every day, and there is no separation because you enjoy what you're doing. You enjoy the people you're around, and that's what I think is so, like, we talk product, we talk this and that. That's not, like, I don't take product away from this trip. I take, like, company culture, values, mission, like the things that I see walking around these facilities. I'm like, this is a company that I want to be a part of. Right.
Yeah.
And I would say you say that because you're here, right?
Oh, yeah.
You in it every day, so there's obviously something you like about it.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, it's contagious, right?
Yeah.
And so, like I was saying, some of the other teams, other companies I've worked for, when, your boss or the team you're working for doesn't have a good attitude, you don't have a good attitude. And so, on a certain level, it's contagious. But I think it's our approach too, and like you were talking a little bit about how we work with apprentices and all of the work that we do. we don't put our name on a NASCAR. You're not going to see our name on a billboard, right? And so when we think about marketing and putting money, we put it back into the trades, and that pays off tenfold. Yeah. Where, we can build relationships at a young age with a lot of people, and they pay us back year after year, right?
Yeah. Give.
Yeah.
Literally, that's what it comes down to. Like, how much can you give in life? You will get something in return. All right, well, let's tie this back to roll-on here. So this is where I wanted to go. So let's go back to roll-on. So we talk about this. So we put this in our trailer in our truck, right? And it does have AC power involved. It's not just DC to DC. There's AC power you can plug in, whatever, microwaves, do your thing, right? So continue with that. What does it look like? So we have 8 amp hour batteries, 12 amp hour batteries. Yeah. Those are the ones that you're using to run your string trimmers, your before the fuel, the blower, things like that.
Yeah, so that's a great point. We've got a couple different battery platforms. M12, which is really that hand tool replacement. M18, that main platform where the majority of our handheld OP is on. And now MX Fuel with the introduction of, the MX Fuel backpack blower, right? And this is because we're really focused on the best experience and application. But where the roll-on kind of comes in is that holistic experience. And so what the ability to mobile charge truly does is to right-size your pack for the application. So if you think, hey, I'm starting off my day, I don't have a roll-on, I got 10 M18s, 10 8.0s and 10 12.0s, your 8.0s run out, you're forced to use 12.0s. So now you're using a slightly heavier battery on a string trimmer. It'll run just fine, but yeah, I get it. You're out there all day. And so, regardless of the tool you're using, by investing in a roll-on, what you really do is unlock the ability to right-size each pack for what you're doing. And on top of that, and in terms of minimizing the investment, if you think about fall, I got to do a lot of backpack blowing, now you don't have to buy enough MX batteries for your worst day in the fall. You buy that roll-on, and now you can deploy that energy to M18 in the spring when you're doing a bunch of cleanup with the handheld stuff, or in the fall, you deploy that to MX when you're blowing, right?
Yeah.
So it really does help minimize the investment.
Yeah, and the way that M18 is, right, and we've heard you talk about charge times and things like that. You don't have to go have 20 batteries, right? You don't have to have that. You have, I think if my math serves me right, you need 3, right? Because you would use one, and then you would have another one, and by the time you ran the second one out, the first one would be charged again, right? And so you can't get away with 2. I don't think it would be tough to get away with 2 if you fully depleted it. But if you have 3, you're ready to rock and roll, right? And so everyone has 3 batteries laying around if you have anything Milwaukee. And that's the benefit, is that they're so versatile, right? M18 is impact, it's inflators, it's all this, it's the fans, like it's everything you can think of, right? Every accessory you can think of. And so in that, in the new 6 kilowatt hour, well, let's talk 2.5, right? Because let's be realistic a little bit here. Let's go 2.5 kilowatt hour, because this is where it's a little more manageable for guys breaking in. I would argue that if you're going to make the jump, maybe jump to the big one in the spring, because I don't know that I would spend the money on the 2.5 to when you get double the power and over double the power in the 6 kilowatt. And the price break, I can't imagine being that much more expensive. So I maybe do the 6 kilowatt. I don't know, but let's talk 2.5 first. Someone who's on the fence, right? Trying to think about it. What does that actually look like as far as what can it power? What can it charge? How many times can I charge a battery? The 8 amp hour, the 12 amp hours.
Yeah, so they both have the same power, which is they'll deliver up to 7,200 watts of peak power, so really anything you want to charge and more, or 3,600 watts of power continuously. And then the difference between the two is really the capacity.
Just how, yeah.
Right? And so that 2.5 kilowatt hour...
You can tell I don't work in the battery world, folks. I do not know my terms.
That 2.5 kilowatt hour, it really translates to the ability to charge 12 8 amp hour M18 batteries. The 6 kilowatt hour means you can charge 30 of those 8 amp hour M18 batteries.
Yeah.
So really anything you do with the 2.5, you're just going to get about 2.4 times more with the big one, the 6 kilowatt hour.
And if you jump up to the 12 amp hour batteries, what does it just drop down by a few? I'm assuming?
So you get 8 12 amp hour batteries out of the small one and 20 12 amp hour batteries out of the 6 kilowatt hour roll-on.
Yeah. So, but again, that is 0 to full, right?
Yeah.
Like that's 0 charge to full charge.
Yeah. So a good way to think about this, right? Like just like you laid out, you've probably got 2 to 3 batteries per tool. You got a handful of tools on your trailer. So I would think about this like, you've got maybe 8 to 12 M18 batteries in total, and then you've got another 30 in your roll-on tank underneath, right? So you're going to have that capacity to complete the full day of work, and then all of those benefits we kind of talked about of you're simplifying the management, right? So each battery has a home on a charger. You can, at the end of the day, roll it off your trailer, or if you got an enclosed trailer, just run an extension cord out there. You don't even have to take your batteries on and off your trailer.
Or if it's open trailer, you still can. It's water resistant.
Yeah.
In depth.
Yep. The roll-on's IP54 for sure.
Yeah. Like you don't have to take it off just because it's safety. Theft, that's a big thing. But I wouldn't put somebody stealing it. But you don't have to take it off for weather. That's what I mean. Like, you don't have to take it off to charge it.
Yeah. And so that's something that's really exciting about the big one. So 6 kilowatt hours. This is the biggest battery pack Milwaukee tool has ever made.
It's
right?
huge. I saw the inside of it today. It's pretty big.
Yeah, I share some of those pictures. It's so much work went into that design, but what we did was really built it from the ground up, and we understand the job site better than almost anyone else. So we made a lot of choices in there. We completely sealed the battery core, and each subsystem is individually protected.
Yeah.
And so that does a couple of things. One, like you're saying, IP54. We were showing it today just with the sprinkler, spraying on it all day.
It was soaked.
Yeah.
It was soaked.
Yeah.
It was sitting underwater the entire day.
Yeah. We've got those outlet covers, so you're just fine there. Let that thing dry off, you're good to go.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Don't go plug a wet
I wouldn't plug a wet cord into the outlet,
socket,
right? So that's part of it. The other level, though, is, right, like there are all these other AC applications where we think about replacing generators and what you can do with a roll-on. And so how a generator's used today, because of the sound, the emissions it makes, we often see people running extension cords into a building. They're 300 feet away from their generator, right? And then the second they trip something, whatever it is, they got to stop their work, walk outside, fix the problem, fill up more gas, whatever it is, maintenance, right? And so the goal with these solutions is really bring the power right to where you're working. If you're on a job site, if you're in a trailer, whatever it is, you're going to have that access to power.
Yeah, I love it. Really cool stuff. So many options. It's so versatile. And so you said, like, if you had, say you have 6 or 8 batteries, and maybe you have, like you're saying, you have 25 to 30 charges in that roll-on. The benefit is you can also get the I forget the actual term for it. The thing that you can, like the power manager to plug in at night, right? You can plug into a 110 outlet, and that thing will manage how much power it gives out.
Yeah, couple of things there. So the Power Manager, right, is a different product, and that really what it does is it helps you combine multiple types of chargers.
Yeah.
So if we kind of take a step back to like those scenarios I was laying out, I think we could define this in, hey, you want to charge in your shop, you want to charge on site, or you want to charge mobily, right? And so that's really designed to help people charge on site, where you can combine multiple systems, multiple charge speeds. And so the way that thing works is you plug in any combination of chargers. It looks like a big power strip. It's a hell of a lot smarter than that. You plug in any combination of chargers into that, and what it'll do is it'll detect everything that's plugged into it, and then it will energize the largest number of chargers possible without tripping a breaker or overloading your circuit. And then it'll continue to monitor, and once it detects batteries are done charging, automatically move on to the next battery. And so, like I'm saying, multiple systems, multiple charge speeds, that really enables you to use superchargers during the day, big chargers at night. Maybe they're chargers you already own, right? And so it kind of goes back to what I was saying of, maximizing the capabilities of what you have today. And honestly, it makes us really unique because, I see a lot of other companies out there, I won't name them, but they force you. You want to go charge on the go? You got to buy a completely new set of products, a completely new system. And the way we look at this is it's a journey, right? And you're going to slowly adopt these things over time, and we're going to be with you each step of the way.
And the last thing I want to hit on before we wrap up is the cooling in these chargers now, right? The newer chargers and batteries coming out, because we're landscapers, we're out in the field, it's hot, it's 110 degrees outside. that's been a big thing forever. It's like, well, how do we do this? Batteries are going to overheat. How do we actually do this? So talk to us a little bit about that, like the cooling technology in these to where the temperature never gets too high.
Yeah, that's a big one. So it's really a combination of a couple of different things. First is the Forge batteries that we launched 2 years ago now. And so what Forge really means is the most power and the longest life you're going to get out of a battery. And we've been able to achieve that on the M18 platform by integrating this cool cycle technology like you're talking about. So you'll see on the top of those batteries vents that come out on the bottom of the batteries. And so that means when you plug it into a cool cycle capable charger, it's going to start blowing air through those batteries right away. And so like you're saying, what this really means in application is, OP is one of the most demanding areas in terms 100%. Of what it does to batteries, and abuse, right? Like chainsaws, brush cutters, they pull a lot of power. Even indoors, like a circ saw, right? And so whenever you're pulling that much energy out of a battery, the battery inevitably heats up. And heat's the enemy of all batteries. And so what this does is when you plug it into a cool cycle capable supercharger, it cools down the battery in less than 2 minutes. And that means a couple of things. One, the battery charges much faster. But also, once it's finished charging, it's ready for that demanding environment again and again.
Yeah, it doesn't have to cool off.
Yeah, so we talk about, duty cycle, and every day, we want you to reduce your packs, charge on the go. So you're just discharging, charging, discharging, charging, and being able to blow air through the battery while you're doing that lets it live a lot longer and perform a lot better. It's a lot of, it's... The way, I think about it is it's so many different solutions kind of coming together to enable that greater experience that really just kind of works well.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, man. Well, Bradley, I appreciate your time, buddy. It's great catching up. I feel like we talked yesterday. I think we did a show yesterday. Yeah. It's been almost a year now, but getting to come to Milwaukee's been cool. I've never been up here before. Seems like a pretty nice city. We got good weather, thankfully.
Oh, yeah.
It hasn't been too bad.
Don't come back in February.
No, I don't know. I've never experienced real snow, so I may make him check it out. But
it's fun for a weekend.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Well, I love it, dude. I love it. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you and your support here for the show. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a big like and subscribe there on YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast, audio only, then leave us a big rating and review. Those help us grow the show because podcasts don't grow by any other way other than organic growth. And so leave us a big review so people go out and find us and it gets boosted to more people out there. And share it. Share it. Please share it because there is no algorithm. Podcasting has no algorithm. Everything else in the world has an algorithm except podcasts. So who would have thought? But anyway, Apple, you need to get your crap together. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate you, Bradley. It's been good.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully we get to do this again at Equip or something. We'll see.
Oh, for sure.
I'll see you at Equip. You going to Equip?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Good deal, man. Well, guys, thank you. I love you. Appreciate you. Care about you. If we can ever help you, reach out and let me know. Without any further ado, that's going to wrap this one up. And we look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next one.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.